Livestream. It's Sunday, March 2nd. Talk a little bit about jazz guitar, improvisation. Yesterday I released the Killing Me Softly with his song video lesson, chord melody arrangement by Barney Kessel. So I'd like to find out if anybody's tried that out or had any success with that. So I'll be keeping my eye on the chat here. So I welcome your questions and comments and discussion. I'm gonna mute my mic for now and do a little playing here. Good morning, Jeffrey. Welcome back. All right, hope I'm coming through okay. So a couple of topics that I've been going over. Talking about bebop scales here recently. And put out a video midweek this past Wednesday on taking pentatonic scales and adding notes to them to create more of a chromatic sound, right? And so you can start with something that you know well, and us guitarists tend to know pentatonic scales pretty well, and add some tones, so add some chromaticism to your lines and everything. Okay, welcome Eric. Hope you're doing well. Got my help mug. I gotta get my Fret Prince mug back out. So I really like the arrangement there of by Barney Kessel. Some really cool moments. I really like this little part. We've got this kind of counterpoint thing happening. So again, it goes up, right, and then so I play these two notes here, and then we get, so we've got all this line happening on string 4, these kind of chromatic lines. Isn't that great? So you get this nice counterpoint on string 4. Pretty cool. And, you know, listening to the recording of Barney Kessel on that later on, he does include some of these harmonic pairs. So playing 2 notes and creating melodic lines like that. So really pretty nice. Nice mixture of some of our, you know, kind of nice, you know, somewhat complex voicings. So he uses this 6/9, F6/9 with the sharp 11, and then right into a simple major triad. And that's part of the sound of that tune, really, too. Oh, Eric, you did get a Fret Prince mug. Awesome. Appreciate that. Yeah, if you haven't already, check out the merch area. I have some books and mugs and stuff like that. I really do like the intro, some of these voicings. On this intro. Yeah, just kind of, you know, playing the intro itself is pretty cool too, but just kind of playing these chords and taking this in, you know. We've got kind of a A major 7 over E here. And then, so you might, you know, recognize this shape as A major 7. We take this note down an octave, remove the low A, and actually we end up with this note on string 1. But what's kind of cool is you get that B in there, the string 2, so that's a major 9. Yeah, isn't it beautiful? Yeah. Yeah. C7. Yeah, so this one, yeah, this one's C7. Yeah, it's kind of C7, like sus with a 9. Yeah, so it's C9 sus 4. Actually, it's not sus 4, is it? Because it has a third in it. So I guess we could say add 11 on this one. And then here we get the E. So it gets a little tension resolution going. So yeah, it's really pretty cool. And then you know, I was really trying to think how does he go about playing this part. So I ended up, you know, taking finger 2 to bar some of those lower strings. You know, because we only have so many fingers, right? I don't know if he did the. I know that from watching him play, he can do quite a lot, Barney Kessel, with his thumb. So I don't know, but it's really hard to clear that first string. You hear him buzzing it. So, man, it's so hard on my thumb. Uh, I've never been that much of a thumb kind of player, but I have tried, especially on travels, to add that into my technique, but I find it really, really hard to do. Okay. All right, everybody. Well, a quick reminder to like and subscribe. If you're re-watching this later, check out the comment section, leave a comment. Yeah, so this is a really nice chord. F6-9, sharp 11. Think of some other moments. We have this. Nice chord changes. Nice pretty dissonance. And then resolution. So an interesting mix of triads and then more major 7 kind of things. Yeah, that's true. The thumb can be tough, especially the more mileage you have. Yeah. So I see Matheny uses his thumb a lot. I find I can kind of use it if it's, if the thumb's over here, maybe a couple frets over from the first finger, but joining it, on the same fret, that seems really hard to do. Yeah, like Steely Dan, yeah, I think there's something to that, yeah, because you're, using maybe just some triads and then mixing in some maybe more complex chords, major 7, and all of that. Chris asks, what's your rig setup today? Apologies. We already talked about that. No, I haven't talked about that today. Thanks for bringing that up, because yeah, I'm doing something a little different today. So I'm going through Quilter Pro Block 200 into a Mesa Boogie cabinet and into just kind of miking it from there. And I've been meaning to get that set up for a while, but I decided to simplify my setup a little bit, and then now I'm kind of going back to the amplifier. So I had been using, up until maybe this past Wednesday or Thursday, I have been going direct through the Strymon, which I like. But yeah, this is going through the Quilter and Mesa Boogie, Quilter amp, Mesa Boogie cabinet, 2x12. Mid-range is noticeably different. Yeah, I agree, and I'm really happy with the difference. A bit less bass, maybe too. Yeah, I'm really pretty happy about it. I found that mixing the recording this past time on the Killing Me Softly felt a lot easier to work with the frequency on it on this. So I'm pretty happy about it. So I have the cabinet sitting in an isolation box. So it's just kind of in a box with the microphone, really big box. So, yeah. So maybe I'll do a little noodling here, and we'll continue to talk about some of the things that I've been doing this past week. Playing there a little bit with Recordame, Joe Henderson tune. Always enjoy playing that one. Played it at a little private event last night with, let's see, we had, how many members did we have? I guess it was a sextet. Chris R. Flat wounds. Yeah, they are flat wounds. Yeah, and it does reduce the string noise. Yeah, I really like the flat wounds, and occasionally I try round wounds, but I don't know. I'm just so used to these types. I believe these are Dogal flat wounds, so I usually use either those or the Tomastic Infeld, which I have a set laying around. I think I need to change these here pretty soon. So I think I'm going to put those on pretty soon. Although I did clean these strings off a little bit yesterday, so maybe I can get a little bit more life to them. Sometimes I use Adero-chromes as well. But yeah, it's not just the sound. I think for me, it's also the feel of it. I just prefer the flat wounds. Also on bass, I use flat wounds, and I even found a pretty cool flat wound set for steel string, which I use on this guitar. I'm not sure if it's in the view, but the camera, but. I forget what they were called, but they are Dogal as well. So I've been experimenting with Dogal strings. They seem pretty good, although I had some problems with the classical strings, but that may not be related to the string. I'm not sure. So pentatonic scales and creating chromatic tones to work from is something that I put out earlier in this week, and talked about it with A minor pentatonic and the C major pentatonic, but a lot of other things that you can kind of do with this as well. Let's say you had an A minor 7 flat 5 to work with. There are some really nice pentatonic type scales that fit with this, and then you can, catapult into some of those chromatic tones as well, like the 10-note bebop scales. So a couple of nice pentatonic scales for minor 7 flat 5. There's a real kind of easy one to kind of get if you know pentatonics well. You simply flat the 5. And that really works nicely because the 11 is commonly played on the minor 7 flat 5. We're kind of in conjunction with it. So that's a nice one as well. Just lower the 5th. Pretty easy to find there. One that might be a little bit tricky is to take the minor pentatonic and raise the 4 and the 5. So this one might be a little tougher to visualize, but it serves us pretty well. It works nicely. And then you can start building some more chromatic type tones with that. But pentatonics can really be a good help, good launching pad for some things. So I'd recommend taking different chord sounds, the flat 9, the sharp 9, seeing if you can create some compatible pentatonic type scales, and then maybe adding in some more chromatic tones. And I would say, this is all in an effort to, kind of internalize the motions and the avenues that you can take to create melodic lines. Thanks for joining in, Jason L. Appreciate it. Any ideas, Eric asks, any ideas on practicing and seeing the related major pentatonic? Yeah, so there's some really cool elements, for that. I think the one thing to really try to consider when you're practicing major pentatonics is the 7th. So let's say we're on a C major 7. So if we consider this sound, the major 7 part of that is a dissonance, and it's sort of a pretty kind of dissonance. So when you consider improvising over this might be a little bit confusing, but taking the C major pentatonic, which won't include the major 7, but the 6 will give you a nice consonant sound, right? So take a major 7 and then practice over that. Now, one thing that's really great with pentatonics is that you can come up with 4-note groupings pretty easily. So try to come up with 4 notes, you know, play a chord, another 4 notes, play the chord, another 4 notes, play the chord. Just to kind of get it in your ear. So we're always, you know, kind of working towards getting the ear to recognize, accept, hear how tones relate to chords. And then also to visualize, you know, where things are in the neck. But playing, you know, something like that is a nice exercise or practice thing to do, you know. Play the chord. Play 4 notes and then backtrack to the note that was just lower than the last one you played, and then play from there 4 notes, and then repeat that pattern. Right, and then use that in different spots. So if you play, you know, you might even try 6/9, you know, to really get comfortable with this concept. Play like a C6, let's say, in position 7, and maybe a 6/9 in position 2 with C, and then go through and play it, trying to really on maybe 2 levels try to visualize and understand the fingerings and stuff like that, and the shapes on the instrument. And then the other level will be, you know, really getting into the sound. We really want to internalize what each note sounds like with the chord. So that's what I would recommend doing. And then if you're looking to expand on that, some really kind of cool things that you can do with major pentatonics. Take the 5th and play that pentatonic. So let's say a G major pentatonic on this. So you play C major 7, and then play it on that. And you can actually go through the circle of fifths and do that with other pentatonics like D major pentatonic and stuff like that. So that's a really nice way to create some contrast. Also embedding 5s. So you could even go G dominant pentatonic and then just weave back and forth a little bit between the G7 dominant pentatonic and the C major pentatonic. So and that can add some more variety to your line. So if you're on a major 7 chord for a good period of time, you know, just kind of playing the chord tones might get a little bit old, but it depends on the tune and stuff. All right, just a quick reminder, folks, to like and subscribe. Yeah, check out the merch store. Appreciate folks purchasing the mug, supporting this channel. Also have some PDFs and stuff there. Okay, and we are you know, just launching our membership area on the website fretprince.com. So free trial of 14 days, I believe. The site is really focused on improvisation, really, but we're going over comping and other things as well. But really, comping is a form of improvisation in a sense, right? So you kind of reacting and making things move. Last night played with pianist in the group, right? And so trying to find space and comping, and that adds cause kind of an exciting challenge to things. So yes, we are live on the channel. So I'm gonna do a little noodling. I'm gonna mute my microphone and play a little bit. Okay, noodling around there a little bit with what is this thing called? Love. So ankle high alpaca socks. Wondering about getting better at music. Yeah, you absolutely will if you put in some time and get some guidance. I would say the one factor is like how persistent can you be about pursuing this, and if you really like it and value it and enjoy making a nice tone, if you can grab an intersection of a string and a fret and kind of get into that, I think you'll be good. It's a matter of like I said, just not to repeat myself, but getting some guidance, and practicing consistently, and maybe just playing consistently too. Do I ever video and post some of the live gigs? So, I thought about that. There's just kind of so much that goes into getting ready, and I'd really have to have somebody else there to do it. But I mean, I could just set a little camera, but and maybe I will do that, eventually. But sometimes, someone in the band will, or oftentimes a singer, because they will sometimes go and walk around and maybe do video, and so sometimes they release some things. Well, last night we had our drummer singing, which he's done a couple times. He's fantastic. So that wasn't going to be an option, but okay. Yeah, so I'll have to do some more of that. So yeah. Chris R asks, friend of mine plays keys, both play more rock and blues, want to play more jazz together. Couple of recommendations. Yeah, absolutely. Well, you can definitely start with some blues or funk. Check out tunes like Cold Duck Time. That would be a fun one. It's not super hard. And tunes like maybe Blue Monk, um, Mercy, 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 be good. Blue Bossa is a good one, really. If you could play Blue Bossa and maybe even practice it in all keys, you'd be equipped with a lot. And it's a really short form. Uh, it's got minor, it's got major, it's got two fives, and all compacted in a really short form. So that would definitely be a really good starting point. As far as getting into uh, maybe some longer forms and things, maybe do Autumn Leaves is a good one to work at playing as well. So, Jeffrey, or let's see, I'll go in order here. Eric says, "Yeah, it's one more thing to worry about when you're on the get." Yeah, that's kind of just it. It's sort of like last night, somehow one of my cables were just left here, and fortunately, I brought it back up. But it's like there's always kind of something. Uh, so yeah, I try to keep it super simple. Like I just had like one delay pedal, and that was it. But I do use a volume pedal when I play live. I find that very helpful. But yeah, Jeffrey. So learn how to practice the guitar, and study music theory. Yeah, absolutely. You know, the thing about having a private teacher is they can watch and listen and identify some things that you may not be noticing. So when it comes to technique, if you have very limited technique, it's okay as long as you're okay with playing within the limits of that. Um, but if you're trying to expand, your expression and all that, it can kind of hold you back. So working on, right hand technique and all that uh, as well, and left hand technique. I've really been working on, technique in both hands for a real long time. So, and I continue to try to fine tune things. And it really, really can make a difference in how you play, but it takes some time to internalize to get it to work in a playing situation where you don't have to think about it. And then, yeah, music theory, coupling music theory with, it doesn't have to be super complex, but music theory with ear, and maybe ear training, but also just using your ear. We really should always have our ear engaged with these activities, but finding those root notes and the chord qualities, the melodic notes, how those relate to the chords, listening and doing things strictly by ear. And then, maybe grabbing a lead sheet or something after you've made a little effort in that respect. But yeah, coupling the ear with some theory knowledge is very powerful. Okay. Eric, what were the other two pieces? Yes, sax and trumpet, exactly. Yeah. Sax and trumpet. Tenor sax and trumpet. He also brought a flugelhorn. We had piano, bass. We actually had electric bass. It's kind of a small space, so you wanted to bring electric bass. And we were doing some kind of funkier things. We did quite a range of jazz, some funky kind of things. We did Cantaloupe Island. That's one of my big videos here on the channel. but a lot of really cool tunes. Little Sunflower, Freddie Hubbard, uh, did All of You, standard. Uh, and then so we did a couple sets of that, which is kind of all instrumental jazz kind of things, and then we did two more sets of actually big band charts that we felt worked okay for the small group setting. Um, so it was pretty cool. I kind of like that mix of things, doing something a little bit more open at the beginning, and you're just kind of listening to each other and working to put it all together, and improvising, stretching out and improvising quite a lot. And whereas the big band charts, they're pretty arranged, of course, but I've worked a lot in the format of 7 too, which would add a trombone into the mix, which I think would be generally better. Well, I mean, I shouldn't say better. Nice to have, but it worked really nicely. What we did. Look up Blue Bossa. There are a lot of covers. Whose version should I start with? Well, some of my favorites are some Joe Henderson recordings on Blue Bossa, saxophone player, but he's got some really, he really stretches out on it, and there's some live versions. But yeah, let me do a little search myself and see if I can steer you into a good direction on this. Yeah, Pat Martino, absolutely. Pat Martino, looks like the album Cream. George Benson. I'm seeing Joe Pass, the Big Three album. Those would absolutely be great places to begin, for sure. But I'd also recommend, keeping it open to listening to trumpet players and sax players, right? Because like last night, I'll do some little cliche lines that us guitarists do, and that helps, I think, people listening who maybe don't know jazz too much, or just know guitar in a different context, and keep them kind of connected with what you're doing. So I'll do a little a little something like that, or do a little a little holding another tone and kind of playing around with it. But kind of the flip side of that, and what I was getting at is, trying to phrase a little bit like a sax player, and just doing a little bit of that language on that. So, all right, everybody, I've got to get going here for today, and Little League baseball season is upon us, so maybe moving the time around here and there as it happens. So we'll see how it goes. But I plan to work to keep this Sunday live stream going. 'ADHD guitar. Have you ever studied the Barry Harris diminished sixth scale. It's harmonation with almost infinite 1/5 possibilities. I have looked into it a little bit briefly, so maybe I'll talk a little bit more about that this week, and see if I can talk a little bit about that on maybe on my podcast, or maybe on a short, and maybe on my midweek video. Maybe all the above. We'll see. But that's been kind of a big deal thing that I see on YouTube and the internet. So I'll see what I can give my take on that this week. Thank you. All right, Chris R. Yeah, thanks for joining, and you're welcome. Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed it. Really appreciate it. Thanks for the encouragement, Jeffrey. It's always great to get some feedback on these efforts. All right, everybody, have a great day. Enjoy your practice sessions, and I will see you all in the next one.